This is FIDE Master Ingvar Jónasson from Iceland, and I'm going to do a quick roundup of the Reykjavik rounds 2 to 4 so far. We did a roundup of round 1, but yeah, lots of things happened in the last 2 days. We had a double round on Wednesday, so a grueling round for the players, and also we had the Icelandic Music Awards, so there was a slight disturbance, but everybody came out feeling okay. But the 4th round yesterday, we started to have some grandmaster clashes on the top boards. Some 2600s playing against the Super GMs with 2700. And after this 4th round, we have let's see, Lagraf, Yu Yang Yi, Alianov, and Gatievsky all have 4 out of 4. So they start to meet in the 5th round today, which is, yeah, when things start to get interesting. So up to this point, it's been kind of a warm-up tournament for some of the players. But let's just have a quick look at some of the games that have happened during the 2 rounds. I'm going to start by looking at Fredrik Ólafsson, Grandmaster Fredrik Ólafsson, former of FIDE, and a living legend in Iceland and in the chess world. He was playing white against David Navarra. Perhaps slightly better, slightly worse through the opening, but nothing too serious. At around this point, after a6, Navarra thought he had made a slight mistake because probably he failed to calculate something. Bishop takes c5 was played, and here Navarra played queen takes b2. If he takes on c5, white should be just fine. You can put a knight on c4, and his position seems to be at least okay. But he took on b2, and after bishop takes bishop back to e3, and bishop takes h6, white now has the 2 pieces for the rook. And what's more, the black king is really exposed, so he really has to watch out. And indeed, Fredrik had some chances here. The threat right now is just queen f3 to f6. So the queen comes back to c6 now, intending to meet queen f3 with either d5 or f5. Probably he must go f5, which is what he did. But this opens up another diagonal towards the king. So things are really starting to get hairy. So queen b3 check was played. Now he must play d5. The moves are more or less forced here, otherwise queen f7 is coming. And now knight f3. After queen b5, Fredrik again played the best move, queen c3. And d4 was played. I mean, e5 is hanging, not much to be done really. And queen c7. Here, Fredrik had been in time trouble most of the game, and he played queen takes e5 and offered a draw. He's definitely better at this point, and even queen c4 was very promising and probably just winning. But he was short on time, and he's now close to 8 years old, so we can understand his decision there. So Ólafsson Navarra was drawn. Yesterday Navarra played a beautiful game. He made 2 draws in the double rounds, but in the 4th round he came back with a strong performance against Robert Riz from the Netherlands. They played the Grunfeld, and Navarra played rather quickly, so we suspect he might have prepared up to a certain point here, even the piece sacrifice that's coming. So all has been pretty forced here. If we go back, he's threatening mate, so h6, the knight goes back. Now bishop takes h6 is threatened. Queen d7 is a normal move, making the queen move again. And now he played g5. Maybe he can get away with king h7, but after g5, we got this piece sacrifice. Mate is threatened, so the rook must move to make room for the king. Now queen h5, he must protect the f-pawn. But here, Robert didn't find the best defense. He played f6, which it's a human decision to to resolve things, try to get the knight away and get some clarity, but maybe getting some of these bad pieces on the queen side over to the king side, maybe knight c7 was a better defense. But after f6 we had a nice sequence: queen h7 check, king f8, and f4. And like Salmon said when he saw this game, Salmon Williams, he said, this is how you play chess. You know, open up lines towards the king. Don't care about the pieces. Just open lines. So pawn takes d4 and f5. Just totally ignoring the threat to the knight. Knight was taken, and now f6. And there's nothing to be done here really. Bishop back to h8 and queen takes. After some further forced moves here, knight takes d4, king c7. Robert resigned here after knight e6. Rook d1 is probably coming next. I mean, king b8. Rook d1 can be played, just sacrificing the queen. And this, for instance, will end in mate pretty quickly. So it's completely hopeless, and he resigned here. We had another nice game with Stefansson as white against Turkan Mamedjaro. Turkan is the younger sister of Mamedjarov, the super grandmaster from Azerbaijan. And we had some theory here in the Semislav. And then finally black took a committal decision with g5 here, winning a pawn but weakening the king side. After some exchanges, queen h5, the pawn must be protected, and now we had a nice sacrifice by Stefansson. Rook takes c7. Can't take with the queen because of bishop takes e5, so knight takes, and now bishop takes f5. Really nice. She played bishop f5. Now white has sacrificed the rook, but bishop takes e5 is more or less winning. The king has to protect the queen. This is catastrophic and will end pretty quickly. I mean, for instance, we can just pick up the rook here, etc. So bishop f5 was played, bishop takes e5, king h7, and now knight to f3. White is down the exchange, but I mean, black has no king position, and this is probably just winning for white. Knight e6, h4, trying to open up against the king. Bishop c3, pinning the knight. And now bishop takes e6 and knight takes g5. A nice sequence, and Mamedjaro resigned here. Finally we have Vasil Akaraf. He's on 4 out of 4, pretty impressive. And he played a nice game yesterday against Erwin Lamy from the Netherlands. And it was, yeah, pretty nice. It was the Caro-Kann. And this game kind of demonstrates, I mean, this could be a typical game that you see in chess books, where white just develops and black has some development problems. As you can see, he hasn't developed his king side yet. So white just castles, just leaves this pawn here. You can't take with the queen, and we just have bishop takes c6 and this in between move here, winning a piece, and knight takes d4. Then probably something like this is going to be it's a typical theme. So he can leave the pawn there, rook c8. Now he just keeps on developing. He plays power chess. You know, he got some space in the opening. It's the advanced variation, so naturally you get some space. You get the knights out, then you get the bishop out to act as squares. Develop, bang bang. That's what it did. And now he just keeps on going forward. Bishop takes c6. Black has no time to develop. Knight c to e2, and he just sacrifices this pawn on b2 here. And rook takes c6, going forward, knight f4. Now bad things happen to the pawn structure, so queen c2 was played, queen f3, and bishop e4. And now white simply took, and queen h3. Now we have this big threat here to just take on e6. So black must react, and unfortunately this is the only reaction. And white just followed up with some strong moves. Rook c1, f6, knight g6, threatening the rook. And here he didn't go back with the rook, he simply played e6. After f takes g5, not taking on d7, but taking on c6. Excellent chess. Threatening mate on d8, c8, and there's not much to be done. For instance, probably just take here. There might be a better line, I haven't checked, but you know, rook a8 is coming. If you put the bishop out, I take on g5, and white is just winning. So nice game by Lagrave. And like we said, we have some top classes coming up in the 5th round. Let's have a quick look. Alienov plays white against Lagrave, and Gregor Skadjevsky against Yu Yang. And by the way, Yu Yang, yesterday he broke the 2700 barrier for the first time, and probably that's just a small stop on his way to the top. Seems like a promising youngster. And some Icelandic GMs here, Kristjansson and Gretarsson on 3.5 after a good start. And well, like they said, the tournament is starting now. It will be fun to watch. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye bye.